Good morning to them that are with me. Good afternoon to some of the ones that will be listening in. I'm Apostle Cheryl Tabadell. I want to say a blessed new year to each and every one that's gathered here today. It doesn't matter with me whether or not you're going to be happy. I'd rather you be blessed. Because if you're blessed, then you'll be happy. So a blessed new year to everyone that is tuned in on this morning. And thank God for our first training session of the calendar year, January. Thank the Lord for Danielle doing the first session, and I'm getting ready to do the second session now. But you'll see on the board behind me, but if you can't, it says, it first tells you a blessed new year, and then after it, it says, no fear, only faith. God can handle it. I'm not taking nothing from what nobody is saying. I'm not here for the 2020. This is the year of perfect vision. I'm not here for all of the catcalls and for the different things that people will take 20 and try to make something out of it to say what God said. The God that I serve, I definitely know that He knows His people, and He knows the place in which we are. He knew where we was leaving 19, and He knows where we are right now in 20. But He's saying to us on today, He says, no fear. We should have nothing to fear, and we will have nothing to fear. He said, only faith. And that means that it comes with nothing else. I don't care what comes. The only thing that we have should be faith. The only thing we have, it should be faith. Because He did tell me, He said, because God can handle it. And that makes so much sense to me. We fear because of what we see, because we understand that we don't know what to do or what it has come to do to us. But we, with our own mind and our own thinking, we kind of like, we give it credence to say, and we give it the actions, and we give it the end result. And what we see in the end is that whatever is coming at us, it has defeated us. He's saying to us on today, He says, no fear. And it's not about, we understand that fear is a spirit, but we understand that God is spirit. And that's the difference. A lot of people want to make God a spirit when He's not. God is spirit. And everything else that operates in man is a spirit. Anything that operates through man comes from another spirit, other than the Spirit of God. So, with that being said on this morning, this year we are told to beat one another up. And that's, you can be physically and spiritually so. Beat someone up. Every day we're going to speak positive things. See, I'm going to show you how God showed me that if we would just do what He's telling us to do, then whatever it is that's coming at us to do, it will have no space to enter into us. It'll have no place to come into, because we're going to be in faith. So speak to yourselves, encourage yourselves, and then you have to get to the place where we are going to encourage one another. We understand that some things are going to happen in our lives throughout this year. That's fine. There has to be a balance. But who is the victor? Who gets the victory?
Yes.
Whenever it's only faith, then we already know that we're victorious. Whoever you meet on the path, on your pathway this in 2020, listen to what they say. Do not sit there if it's something bad or negative or whatever. Beat them up out of that. Beat them up out of that. If you can't, then it's good to say, I'll just pray for you.
Right.
Because sometimes you may not have in you what's needed for the person. But in this year, through faith, we trust that we will have what's needed. Because He already told us that we need to have an answer for every man. And even if that answer is, I don't know. Or even if that answer is, I can't help you, but let me pray for you. See, I want you to get this on today, because if we're going to be, and if we're going to do, and if we're going to receive what we say that God has for us, what we believe God is having for us in this upcoming year, it's going to take faith. I know we've been talking about this all of our lives, probably all of our saved lives, but this particular year, I promise you, if we speak encouraging words, if we speak truth, if we speak, from faith, our faith will not only be increased, but it will have no space or no place for the enemy to enter in. And that's what's key this year. That's what's key this year. Because if we don't, then a lot of what you've probably lived in 19, you're probably going to experience again in 20. But since we always talking about forward movement, God has already designed a place, and He's designed a plan for His people. He's designed a plan for us. And with my saying that, He told me, the book of this month, the book of this year is Operation Faith. I meant to get one. I did have one. And when He said it to me, hold on one second, I'll be right back. Out and in. Operation Faith. This is what the Lord was speaking to me on the 1st of January, and I was like, oh, okay. When He said no fear, only faith. Now you may have this. If you don't and you need a copy, let me know. I love this because you need to read this again. Because I say in this book, I deal with 8 kinds of faith, 8 types of faith. And the one that really got me whenever He said no fear was the unintimidated faith. See, you can't be intimidated this year. We cannot be intimidated by what we see or what we hear. We cannot be intimidated. There's an unintimidated faith that I speak of in this book. And the very last faith is the faith that we all need. And this is the faith that comes out of the book of Jude when He tells us to build up ourselves on our most holy faith. That's when He said God can handle it. The most holy faith is the faith that we have to believe and put our trust in God for our total everything. So, with that being said, again, the book, Operation Faith, get it, read it, linger in it, labor in it, pray in it, ask God to increase us in it so that we can continue on in this year in faith. On the 1st of January, when I woke up, the Lord said to me, He said, what do you see? I hadn't even gotten out of bed yet. So I'm like, I wasn't talking to the Lord that way, but I was like, He said, what do you see? And then I began to think about that question. And so I turned over in the bed as usual. I got my little trusty journal, and I began to write. And I said, our sight, or either our eyes, is very important to the human body. I said it is the organ that is needed to guide the body. And then I was telling I wrote down and I said, I want to say this right here, do a little invitation. Thank God for yesterday and for us being with Covenant Keepers in Georgia, Milledgeville, Georgia on yesterday. I'm so grateful. We had such a great time yesterday. It was Covenant Keepers, Georgia. Mwah. We did that yesterday. That's what I'm going to say. We did that yesterday. And so I gave them a little bit. I thought that I was going to only give them this. And then God had me to go into what I was going to give us today a little bit. But I do understand that. And I'm so grateful that, Georgia, you brought that out of me on yesterday. That I said I was saving for Alabama. But it's okay because us two, we're one. You got some of it yesterday. I'm getting ready to get it in its fullness on this morning. As I was saying, I'm dealing with Perfect Vision 2020. That's what they say Perfect Vision is. But when the Lord began to deal with me, He was saying, He said, nah, 2020 is not Perfect Vision. He said, just like this, without accuracy from God. And so what that meant to me was, we all see in any given situation, but God is the one that gives insight to what's not seen. But the insight shows us what is going to come in time. Therefore, vision is perfect by insight from God. Can you see ahead of you? Can you see what's ahead of you? See, by faith, we see some things that we want. Some things we hear what God has said, and we can see the picture of what He said. But can you see what's ahead of you? Has He told you anything? Has He said something to you that produced sight for you, that produces a vision for you? I know we got Crossroads. I know we got Hannah's Place. You know, whatever else that God has given to the different ones, whatever He spoke. He's told some people what they're going to be. He's told some people what they're going to have. He's showed us, where we're going to go. But He asked me, He said, what do you see? So this morning I asked you as He asked me, what do you see? Now listen at this, because it started off like this. He first gave me, He said, in places where what you hear causes you not to move. If you're always at home, then you can hear what someone tells you on the phone, or someone else may be able to come to you and give you a report. And this is what God was telling me as far as us being able to move in this year. This is key. In order for us to be able to move, physically move, because the journey is about getting from where we are to another place and to other places. Because our journey is never complete just going from here to one place. That's not a journey. We have places that's set before us to get to go. And then we have people that's on our path to get to as we go. But He was saying, He said, in places sometimes where you are, it causes you to hear, but it doesn't cause you to move. And one example that He gave me was if you stay at home all the time, and the only thing you get is what you get from the phone calls, or if you get from somebody coming to visit you, then that's all you just got what you heard. You have information, but you have no movement. Information is what with no movement. So He said this will cause you to only see what they said. And then He took me to the widow woman. This is what God, man, I love this. Y'all know about the widow woman and Elijah, and how she was preparing. She was preparing from the last little bit of meal and all she had. She was preparing a meal for her and her son to die, right? So, but the Lord said, He said, the widow woman saw her and her son's death due to the lack of substance. Listen to me real good. That was needed to sustain their life. So what did she do? See, that's what we won't do. We won't look and see what we got and realize that it ain't enough to keep us going, to keep us living. Oh yeah, I'm going to work this one today. We won't look and see that what we have, we lack the substance, the sustenance of it in order for us to be sustained. So when He said that, because He said, so what did she do? What did she do? Based on what she saw, she moved in preparation. Man, that's the key. She moved in preparation. Get this. Not in death. She didn't move in death. But in life. She moved to prepare to eat another meal, even if she thought it was going to be the last meal. She moved to prepare to eat again. Uh-oh. She already knew what she had left. But she prepared a meal. She thought the meal was going to be the last meal that she ate, but it was the beginning of a continued life.
That's right. Thank you, Jesus.
It was the beginning of a continued life for her to be able to continue to live. Man, I'm sure how the Lord said this thing. We don't know, but we do have an example that has been set before us. Still, when it comes to the widow, God blessed divinely both the widow and the prophet. Uh-oh. He sent the prophet to the widow. He caused the brook to dry up where the prophet was, so the prophet had to move.
Come on now.
You don't understand why some things have dried up in your life. It's to get you to move. You don't understand why you have a need for some things and you can't see your need being met. It's because that thing is designed to get you to prepare, to live. It's okay. See, it's okay. To get you to prepare to move. So when he dried up the brook, the prophet had to move, but he didn't just move on his own. The Lord had already told him. He said, I'm going to send you. He told him to go to Zarephath. He said, there I have commanded a widow woman to sustain thee. Oh, my goodness.
Thank you, Jesus.
Oh, my goodness. So you say, my God, you say, on this path, you say, God will send, he got to send me, in the pathway of somebody that's able to help me.
Yes.
I'm trying to tell us, get the mindset that is not just about you, but in order for you to receive, you got to consider somebody else. Because if you don't have it, where you going to get it from? God's not going to drop down here on earth and give it to you, but he's already put it in somebody else for you. So instead of you sitting home on the phone trying to call somebody to get what you need, no, that's not what it is in this year. Your faith going to have to move you. While the telephone was containing you, your faith was not being activated. Y'all like that?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. He sent the prophet to the widow. The prophet moved. After there was nothing to sustain him in the place where he was, God sent him to Zarephath. The widow was preparing for the prophet and her household.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
See that?
That's what God said. Thank you, Lord.
She was preparing. She didn't even know that God was sending her the prophet.
Yeah.
Whoever's on your path may not even know you coming.
All right.
But they're making preparation for your arrival. It's all right.
Come on.
They may not know that you're coming, but they're making preparation. See, that's the key word in all of this. Preparation. Nobody wants to prepare.
My God. That's the right thing.
You always want to see what you don't have. You always want to see what you want, but you never make preparation to move to get it. You never make preparation to move in the direction that God is sending you, that you'll be able to receive.
Yes, God.
You don't know who's coming, and you don't know who you're preparing for. Y'all know what? It's more to it than needs just being met. They're being met in unusual ways for us to meet our God. To build our faith in Him, our trust in Him, to be witnesses of and to give witnesses to. To be witnesses of this God and to give somebody a witness.
Yeah.
Just like He said in the Word, He said there were many widows in that day. See? Listen at me, good, catch this. Whenever the story was told afterwards, to give credence to how God did what He did, you understood that there were many widows in that day in the land of Zarephath, but it was this one widow. There's many people when in the same situation and circumstances as you.
Come on.
But who
Come on.
will God send to you.
All right.
There's many of them, and he can send them to anyone.
Thank you.
But he's trying to get you in a place where he'll be able to send them to you.
Come on.
Thank you, Jesus.
There was many of them.
Yes.
There's many people like us.
Yes.
There's many people that don't have. There's many people that have. But there's somebody that God
Yes. Thank you, Jesus.
will send to you
Yes.
when God sees that you see
Come on.
that you lack.
Yes,
My
Lord.
God, that you lack in sustenance and substance to be sustained.
Yes.
He will, if you will prepare, if you will make preparation.
Come on.
Yes, Lord.
Oh.
I don't care how many of them there is like you, he'll send somebody to you.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus.
And you won't have to worry about calling somebody to try to get them to help you to make, what you need a reality.
Mm.
You won't have to worry about the system. Oh my God. You don't have to worry about, any other kind of fairs, health fair, book fair, welfare. You don't have to worry about no fairs. Just take care of the affairs of God.
Come on.
And God will send somebody to you.
Yes.
But you gotta make preparation. You gotta see that this is your last.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. Come on.
There were many of them. There's many of them just like us. But he's gonna send somebody
Thank you.
as long as we prepare. I remembered about Thomas. And the Bible speaks of twice. Thomas, his name meant twin. And Thomas, after Jesus had died and resurrected, he came back and he came in to the apostles at one time, and Thomas wasn't there. But after that, after they seen him, whenever they saw Thomas again, they told Thomas. They said, they had seen the Lord. And Thomas told them, y'all know the story. Thomas said, I ain't gonna believe it.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I ain't gonna believe it. He said, except he see, he wanted proof.
The whole thing is inside.
Y'all listen at this. Oh my God. He wanted proof.
Yes. That's what we wanted.
Listen, y'all. He wanted to prove because of what he had previously seen.
Mm-hmm.
No, you said, Let's look at what he did. It wasn't in what he saw or what he felt. Although he said, except I see and except I feel,
Mm-hmm.
I won't believe.
Right.
See, he had to have something to go from first to have that to be able to go to.
That's true.
So he had to be able to see him
Mm-hmm.
hanged,
Right.
crucified, see what they did to him.
Mm-hmm.
In order for him then the second time, whenever he was there with them and Christ appeared. Christ already knew, just like he already knows.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just told Thomas, he said, here,
Yeah.
come and do it. I already know what it's going to take.
Mm-hmm.
I already know what it's going to take
All right.
to make you a believer.
Mm.
Yes, Lord.
I already know. But what is it going to take to make us believe?
Jesus.
Hasn't he been talking to us down through the years? Haven't he been telling us? Haven't we been repeating what he's been saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now what is it going to take to make us believe? It's going to take it's going to take a motion. It's going to take a movement. It's going to take faith. Only. No fear. It's going to take faith only. What do you see this morning? What do you see? We need that Operation Faith. We need to read it, to know it, to operate in it. We need it. Let me say this to you on this morning also. I really do love the Lord. Let's talk about sight and insight, just briefly, and then I'll move on. Sight and insight. As I said earlier, everybody has vision to see whatever it is you see, whoever it is you see. But as I said, the insight is what you see can you see what God has said concerning what you see in a time to come that's not yet here? That's insight. Some people might say that's prophecy. You might say somebody's prophesying to you. But you have to understand that I love it because I believe that what somebody will say as insight is something that we already know, or at least we're on the pathway to that because of our obedience. And he can always open up and reveal whenever we obey. He can always open up and reveal whenever we obey. And even if we don't obey, he still will reveal. Just like I said, we take what Jaden said in prayer on New Year's Eve night when we were here. And him, 12 years old, Jaden 12? Being 12 years old, foundation, 12 years old. He kind of like set the foundation for me for this year in his prayer. And I know that he was praying. I know that Christ was praying through him. I know it was. Because he said, God set pathways before us that leads us to you. That was a prayer that was made in this house. And God opened up my ears to hear it, to allow me to know that that's what he wants and that's what he has done.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's what he has done. The question is, are we on the pathway? Do we want to be on the pathway? If not, God, get me on the pathway. See, because when you ask what do we see, it's got to be greater than what's seen. And not only that, it's got to be able to see him and to go towards that. This is the last thing I want to say, because I'm really excited about this year. I really and truly am. I started on a high, and even on the 2nd of January, that it was raining real bad. I mean, you talk about rain. It was raining down here these last couple of days. And on the 2nd of January, that's the anniversary of my daughter's homegoing. And I left home that morning, and I went to the bank, and I started to go to the cemetery. I'm like, nah, I said, I'm not going to go. I said, it's raining. I said, it's raining too hard. But I went into the bank, came out, like, nah, I said, I'm going. I don't care about the rain. I said, I'm going. And I did. I went on down to the cemetery, and I laugh all the time at this part. Anyway, people that know me, I'll go to the cemetery. It doesn't matter. And when I go and I, clean up around her grave site or whatever, then I'll start walking around the cemetery and just start looking to see who else is there, or who else has been added or whatever. But I mean, hey, you do what you want to do. It's all good. So, but I was there and out in the rain. Went back home. I mean, I rejoiced. It was a good day. It was a good day. I was grateful, and I was even telling the Lord, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you for my daughter. I thank you that he gave her to me. I thank God, and I rejoiced. And after that, turned around, I went home, went to bed. But this is the key, y'all. The morning of the 3rd, when I woke up, God brought back my visit to the cemetery to me when I woke up. And I was like, oh, okay. So I turned over and I get my book again. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, okay, it was the anniversary. Down here was going on. I went to the cemetery, I rejoiced. And then that morning, God had me to think about the things that belong to him. I started thinking about the things that belong to God and what he gives us. And then he told me just like this. He said, he shares. He shares. Now, don't let us get stuck confused. And I hope this helps somebody. I really and truly do. Because we so oftentimes take the goodness of God to ourselves. And not, let me say it like this. He was saying, You can't expect to keep some things forever. But he said he's given it to us long enough for me to know, to love, to experience him and the goodness of them that he gave me. I see how happy I'm getting right now. See, y'all looking all morbid. I don't want nobody to die. I don't want to love them. You ain't going to live forever. Remember, he shares. How long? He knows. It is his. The question is, can you release it and be grateful first? Then turn that gratefulness into thanksgiving and rejoice for what it was he shared with you. He shared it. He's not like us. We get stuff and we share it with somebody, and then you know what? And sometimes they may not even be ready to give it back yet, or whatever. It may not have even served its purpose fully yet. And you just remember that it's yours and you want it back. Give it back. And then sometimes whenever you get stuff back, or if you have to give somebody something back and you want to keep it, you know, you got a nasty way of giving it back. You probably do something to it, you know, and it's not given back in the way that you received it. You may kick it. We just don't share like God shares. And let me tell you this. Let me tell you what's key with the way God shares. We ask for what we want back after we let you use it. God calls back what he gives us. So whether you want to release it or not, it's got to come back to him by the power of his word. He calls it back. And you, can I have my book back? Can I have my book back? Will you please give me my book back? Take it. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that God's sharing, and his sharing is not like the way we share. Even that kids, you don't do that. No, you give it back to him nice. You say, excuse me. You say, I didn't mean to do. Yes, you did, because they didn't want to release it. And that's the way we are with our loved one. But that's when, hey, you can ask all you want, but when God calls, it has to move by the power of the word. So, in this year, you know, realize that he shares. And take whatever he gives you. Let's not take anyone for granted in this year. I'm serious. Not even your enemy. Let's not take anyone for granted in this year. As God has shared his love with us and in us, let us share. And whenever they want things back, just as you was happy to receive it, be happy just the same way to return it. Remember how you got it. Remember how you got it. And return it in like manner. There's a lot of things we want this year. You got to know how to receive. And you also have to know how to return. So this year, let's just continue to beat one another up. And I like to say it like this, you know, I don't care what the situation or the circumstance is in the person. I do know this much. If you can go down in that pit with them, and if you can bring them up, the both of you will come up clean. That much I know. That's just how much the power of the word is able to wash and regenerate. And I leave you with this, because the spirit and the heart, whatsoever is in our heart, there's a spirit that's in us to carry it out. There's a spirit that's within us to carry it out. So, and some of us don't have good spirits. If you don't like somebody, if that person says something, you listen at disapprove it. You know what's in your heart already concerning that person. So what you gonna do is, if they say whatever they say to you or whatever they do to you, you know, you're going, the spirit from that's within you, from what you know in your heart, is going to respond to that person. And if you don't like them, it's nasty. It's mean. So at the beginning of this year, you know, with our faith, we want to ask God to create. Create in me, oh God, a clean heart. Create in me. God, destroy that old stony heart. Create in me a clean heart. And renew a right spirit. The right spirit to operate from the clean heart. A right spirit to operate what's in my heart. This year holds a lot for us. And I want to say this, whenever Jaden prayed, I'm one that will go to the Word and find out, you know. But check this out. Let me show you how I believe God honored this house on that night. Whenever he prayed, the word pathway is only written one time in the entire Bible. One time. Once is the word pathway. One time only. And you can find that in Proverbs, the 12th chapter and the 28th verse. And it says, in the way of righteousness is life, and in the pathway thereof there is no death.
All right.
I'm grateful. Take it. Take it. And this year, guess what? We're not going to be trying to hone in on what God is saying in 2 cities over. And this year, I don't want you to, I don't want us to, because I believe that there are different parts of the body, and God have them doing different things in different places. So, I mean, this year, I'm just saying to us, this year, you know, if God don't lead you to, stop going into other people's places and trying to horn in on what he has for them in their section, their portion of the vineyard. Let's work what he gave us to work. Let's not be as others. Oh, that's a word. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, that'll preach. Oh, that. No. What is he saying that he wants us to accomplish through his word that he's giving? You can hear what's good and just know, and by all means, be grateful. Tell the Lord thank you for what he's doing in other places. Because it's taken all of us to get to a place in him that we all come together. So don't leave your job paying $10.50 an hour and go 2 counties over and try to jump in the $8.75 an hour crowd. Work your work for your worth. Work your work, the work that he's given up. Let's work. Because I guarantee you, it's going to yield a profit. It's going to yield a profit as long as we work and our work becomes completing God. We just thank God for all things in Jesus' name on today. I pray, Lord God, that each and every one that's listening, everyone, God, is under the sound of my voice, I decree and I declare in this year for us, my God, there is faith and no fear. Only faith, because God, you told me that you can handle it. We don't doubt you. We believe and we receive the blessings of the Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you.